Hello and welcome back to another STEM with Miss Dubois video. In today's video, we're going to talk about sketch constraints and the shell feature in Fusion. That's me, Miss Dubois, so let's begin. We're going to click Create Sketch. This is found in the Create section of your window in the solid portion of Fusion. So let's click Create Sketch and you can select any plane you want. These things are called planes. So let's click the plane right here. I call this my top plane because it brings me right to my top. Okay? And now I'm going to focus on a 2-point rectangle because they're easy. Now I'm going to place my first corner and I'm going to slowly drag it out. But that's where I stop because I'm going to type in my values. Because you're going to learn that as we constrain sketches, the best and easiest way to do it is by typing out your values. So let's just do 2 inches for the length. We're going to press the tab key. And let's do 5 inches for our width. And it's locked in. I press enter. And look, we have constraints. So you might be asking, what is a sketch constraint? A sketch constraint basically is something that prevents your sketches from going too crazy when they turn into 3D models. And what that does is it basically keeps them in check. So, yeah, we're going to see this a couple of times and you're going to notice that if your sketch has a sketch constraint because it looks like this grayish symbol. This is saying that this line is horizontal and that this line is vertical. You can also tell that here. So if you're ever curious about a sketch constraint, you can always go to constraints and it tells you exactly what it does and what its purpose is. So let's do fillet. Okay, I'm going to click these 2 lines, but I don't want just a random radius. I want a radius of 0.1. Too little for me. 0.15. Boom. And now I have a couple of constraints. I have a tangent relationship constraint, which basically means that this line is going to touch this curve once. And I have a not coincident. I have it was right. It's a coincident. I have a coincident constraint where basically it's saying that the position of 2 lines meet together at this curve, essentially. And I want to do this thing again a couple of times. So I'm going to change it, click fillet. I'm going to type in 0.15. And I'm going to do this for all of my things. Okay? 0.15. And all I'm doing as I type this up, by the way, y'all, is I'm just typing in my values the moment I can. And now I have a pretty equal thing, right? So let's just say we were adding a design to this, right? Let's just say we were making this a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but just a little different, you know? Let's say I wanted to add an arc. I'm going to click a 3-point arc. I'm going to click my line. I'm going to have it go down 0.5 of an inch. Not enough yet. 0.8 of an inch. Maybe 1 inch. Boom. Voila. Ooh, I didn't do that right. Let's redo it. So, click arc, 3-point arc. I like 3-point arcs. They're my favorite. I'm clicking that point here. I drag it down just a smudge. I press 1. I do that. I click on it. And now I'm going to select a point on my arc. I want to do right there. Voila. Now I'm going to have a line. I'm going to click construction. And I'm showing this for a reason, y'all. I'm going to show another constraint. Before we get into shells and stuff, I just want to show a constraint. Or I want to show the, the sketch constraints. What's it called? I'm making a video on it, me silly goose. I'm a silly goose right now. Moving on. So, I specified my next point, and I have this line here. I have this point here that says perpendicular. Cool. So, and that's a sketch constraint. But I want to mirror this. So, what I'm going to do is sketch that, mirror line, and I have a little oval football looking thing. I click OK, And you're going to see that these are symmetrical. That's a sketch constraint. And symmetry is basically when it's the same on both sides. So now I have a weird phone case looking thing with an eye. I actually am going to get rid of this. I'm going to click trim, trim, trim. I didn't want that there. I just wanted to show what it was and some other sketch constraints. If you're ever confused about sketch constraints, I recommend going here. It really does explain everything. And ultimately, the best way to learn anything in Fusion is by practicing and exploring yourself. So I click Finish Sketch. I'm going to click Home. And now I'm going to extrude it. Let's extrude this thing. And if we type in any positive number, oh, I don't want 50. I want 1 inch. Oh, yeah, that looks right. Let's do 1.5. Not 100. 1.5. There we go. But yeah, the best part with Fusion, as you explore and mess around with it, is that it's not permanent. And you can mess around with Fusion and be okay. Making mistakes in Fusion is good, because that's how you really learn. And yes. So, right as you saw here, I clicked the shell function. And basically what it does is it makes a certain thing thick or hollow. So let's click this box, right? If I type in 0.1, that's saying the entire shell of this box is 0.1 inches thick. If I did 0.9, that's saying that the entire shell of this box is 0.9 inches thick. Let's just say I did 1. Ooh, I can't do 1. Let's just say I did 0.95. Same idea, right? I can also do that with faces. So let me click shell again. Let me do that again. And let's just do 1.2, but I do negative. Nope, it doesn't work. So that's how the shell feature works. The best part about working with shell features is, or with any feature in Fusion, as you saw right there, is if you're not sure, you can always test it out before pressing enter, which is a really useful tool. So yeah, you just saw me use the shell feature. And now this whole thing has a shell of a thickness of 0.1 inches. And if you want to extrude and make something else out of it, you can just drag it up or type in a positive number. And then you can extrude and have that look kind of like the thing at like offices and stuff where they have like business cards and stuff. Kind of looks like that to me. And I bet we can add texture to it. I'm not going to right now, but you could. So yeah, honestly, with Fusion or with the shell feature, I would mess around with it, get comfortable with it, and just have fun with it. You can make a water bottle using the shell feature, or a water bottle lid using the shell feature. I can show you real quick, actually. So let's practice that, right? And we get to practice more constraints too. So I'm going to drag my mouse and press the delete key. Oops, delete. Now I'm going to click my sketch, and I'm actually going to delete this as well. Delete. Nope, I don't want to do that. I want to click. I'm bringing that over. I'm pressing delete. Well, ha 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 ha. And now we're going to make a water bottle lid. I don't know how big a water bottle is, so I'm just going to type in 5 inches. That feels pretty big. Let's do 4. Okay. Excuse me. Let's click Finish Sketch. Oh, we're missing the sketch. So let's click Show. Let's click Home. And let's do an extrusion. And I want this extrusion to be, I feel like water bottles are a foot long, high. Are they? I don't know. Last time I measured my water bottle, couldn't tell you. So now we're going to do shell. And let's just do 1 inch. See, but that's not thick enough. Right? So That's a little too thick. I mean, I misspoke earlier. That's a little too thick. So let's make the shell. Ooh, we can do rounded shell too. Sorry, I'm being a little inquisitive. Let's do 0.1. Oh, that's way too thin. Let's do point. Nope. I don't know why I would think 0.9 is any better. 0.25. And we kind of just made the shell of a water bottle. And we can double check that we did by actually doing this thing called section analysis, which I showed in another video. But all you have to do for section analysis is click section analysis and inspect. Let's do this plane. And we can see that we have a shell thickness right here, because that is indicating that we have a shell thickness. I'm going to click cancel, and that's one way to do it. If you want to make this into a water bottle lid, just extrude it a little less. So let's just do 2 inches. Boom! You have a water bottle lid, sort of. I mean, you would have to tweak it and add stuff to it. And that was the video on how to use the sketch constraints in the shell feature in Fusion. I'm STEM with Miss Dubois. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day and a great life. Bye!